Hello, Tuesday. United States of America, state and local, this is state and local consumption and investment contribution to real GDP growth. So, yeah, you've got it, hopefully. Anyway, you can see this goes back to 1990 and it's generally always sticky uppy. In other words, state and local governments contribute positively to consumption and investment components of United States GDP. But you can see since 2007 it's gone all negatory. And it's quite surprising, do you not think? Democrats I believe, are famous for spending lots in state and local and federal government, but it's them that have brought it down negative, where it really has not been negative for decades. What would the Republicans have done? Will the Republicans do if they get a Republican president voted in? Maybe we will never know. Let's move on to Kaiching, China, Shanghai. It is imperative for China's local governments to enhance direct financing and improve the transparency of their fundraising activities. The most important part there is enhance their direct financing. The state and local governments in China are in a heck of a state, really are in a heck of a state. Direct bond issuance can help local governments repay debts tied to their financing platforms in a healthy way, says Jai Tang Toli, somebody or other. The budget law prohibits local governments from directly issuing bonds unless otherwise allowed by the State Council, yet local authorities sidestep the restrictions by borrowing through platform companies. Basically, state and local governments in China have been borrowing huge quantities of money in various ways and spending them on local projects and making things boom. Except the local projects aren't what you might call productive, and the money isn't coming back in to pay the debts off. So they have to default, which you're not allowed to do, or borrow more money somehow, or commit haye kawe, or whatever they do in China. Their local finances are in terrible, terrible disorder. Right, back to the United States. The market PMI was out yesterday for the United States, and this just kind of continues with the Blah project, Project Blah. You can see the great dip down in 2009 when the PMI went as nearly as low as 30 unadjusted, but it's really back to where it was before the Troubles, and has been wrapped around 55 since 2010. This is effectively causing, or is a represents blah plus. Blah blah plus. It's turned down slightly, but it might turn back up again because that's its habit. But the rest of the world isn't doing quite so well. So will the rest of the world be heavy enough to drag the USA PMIs down? We shall see. Over in France, here in France in fact, French socialist government announced the first real terms increase in the minimum wage for 6 years. A very small raise above inflation, but something, because it was promised to get Hollande elected. I worked out what the minimum wage was. You can follow the link to the article and find out what the number is yourself, but obviously as minimum wages aren't, it's not terrifically high, and I worked out I in France was getting paid it in 1983, effectively 30 years ago. Manufacturing PMIs in Europe for comparison's sake. 50 being the break-even point. Anything above 50 is good. We saw United States wrap around 55, which is fine. The only one above the 50 line is Ireland, dragging Europe forward Quite surprising, isn't it, really? I find it quite surprising. Below the line, obviously not all the European countries are represented. Netherlands is closest to the line, but is below it. Then we've got a grouping of Germany, Italy and France at a mere 45, which is very, very poor. It's very, very negative. It's contractionary. And the two basket cases of Spain and Greece down by 40. Not good. New York Times gives us a story about Europe. On vacation or sick, a court says, take another. Brussels. For most Europeans, almost nothing is more prized than their 4 to 6 weeks of guaranteed annual vacation leave. Surely everyone gets 6 weeks holiday. No? Oh. But it was not clear just how sacrosanct that time off was until Thursday, when Europe's highest court ruled that workers who happened to get sick on vacation were legally entitled to take another vacation. Quite right too, no? It's no sort of a vacation if you're at home with the sniffles. Finish with this. This is not an impressive looking chart, but it is directly from the ECB's data, whatever they call it, data warehouse or something. Unemployment. And it doesn't look good, does it? Back in 1996, it was not looking good, but then everything got together for this euro thing. But this euro thing was a bit of a con, and lots of money transferred around, and different countries did very well out of it, but on borrowed money from other countries. But the unemployment rate came all the way down to 7.5 until this Great Recession thing hit. And then for Europe, it has been a bit of a disaster from 2008. You can see it went up and up and up till 2010, and then seemed to be coming down again. But since, it's gone up again and is over 11% for the euro using area, which is not a good performance. And we wonder why. Bye.